All right. This is a recording, and it's just me working on some terrain. I've got this really cool spider, gigantic spider, but he's a merchant. And I think he was for a fantasy campaign, but I decided to make him for a, post apocalyptic thing. And the real question is, what does he want for his goods? I mean, maybe he'll ask for one of the player characters to eat. I don't know. Just depends. You can never tell, right? It's a spider. So, how do they think? I couldn't tell you. Um, I've been getting some various and assorted mutants done. Like I got these. There's a name for this. I don't remember what it is, but it's basically a mutant plant, like a mutant bush, except it's got all kinds of claws and stuff. And this is a not it was a real pain in the ass to get the claws on it. And now that I've got the claws on it, I'm sitting here thinking, I really should have painted that before I put the claws on it. You know what I mean? It's because those things are kind of, I mean, granted they're flexible because of the resin I use, so they're a bit flexible, but I still don't know if I want to. I still think they're just going to be a pain in the ass, right? I mean, good news is just green with that pink area around its open flower face slash mouse mouth slash whatever. But now, what has been on my mind, mainly because I've been playing so much Dune Awakening. And by the way, if you watch this video and you're on my Discord and you see me in Discord in the voice channel, it's probably muted. But, if you hit me up with a beep, I'll unmute myself and you and or join, and then if you're playing the game, we can BS around, even though you may not be on my server in Siege. However, the thing is that they changed it to where now you can go to any server and Siege and build a house, and basically you can just change servers however you want. And I think the big part of that was a lot of the super anti PvP people were not happy. And, as much as the PvP guys will bitch and complain and carry on, and I used to be one of those guys. So believe me, I kind of know where I'm coming from here. It's the Care Bears that give a game longevity. If you don't take care of the Care Bears and give them just a lot of silly, time wasting shit to do, your game will die. 100%. It's just how it will go. And then, that's when the crying starts. And even when your game dies for the longest time, you'll still have some Care Bears playing, even if it's only like 100 max, Like, look at Dark Age of Camelot. There's still people playing that game. And yeah, they go out in RVR on occasion, but mostly they're just doing PvP stuff, working on their house, stuff like that. because I mean that's kind of what you do, you know what I mean? You go out, you work on your house, you try to get more money so you can do more stuff around your house. Every now and then, if your alliance or guild needs you to go out and defend a keep, you do that. And it's fun and all, but as soon as it's over, you're back uh, in your house decorating stuff or going on raids hoping to get, decorations for your house like Cetus head or phoenix feather or whatever, right? So it's like I said, you got to take care of the Care Bears. Games that try, like, I think the number one game that really effed up about it was Shadowbane. Shadowbane really, really sold itself as this no holds barred PvP game and, guild based, whatever. And what ended up happening in Shadowbane, unlike every server but mine, is a guild rose to power. Everybody joined that one guild, and then that one guild outnumbered everyone else all the time. Because your Oceania players would be in the guild and whatever. And so you might build a city and think you're doing good, and they would roll up and be like, pay us money or else. And, you could fight a war if you wanted, but, when you had a guild like Lords of Death or something on my server, it was Silent Tribe and Lords of Death. They were the big guilds, but Silent Tribe, they really didn't bother anyone. They just kind of kept to themselves. And they were also so big that they were kind of a counter lever to Lords of Death. And the Lords of Death, their whole deal was just basically to grief everybody, as much as possible. Like if you were out adventuring and you were at some camp, trying to level up, these guys would show up with like much higher level characters and kill you and laugh at you just because that's how their fun was. And yeah, I have to admit there's a part of me that totally gets it. Running around griefing noobs can be very fun, but at the same time, if that's all the game is, then whatever. And I mean, Xiaobane started out great, but then as soon as a lot of the Care Bears hit max level, they just quit. And that was pretty much the end of the game, because the only ones left were, the hardcore PvPers, except all the people they used to like to run around and gank were gone. So they couldn't do that anymore, and that become a whole issue. So in other news, I'm kind of pissed off at Elegoo because I literally bought this Elegoo 4 Saturn 4 I think less than a month ago, and it's already telling me that, well, I mean, it's not telling me, I can see the LCD screen is already effed up. Now, the good news is usually Elegoo has very good customer service. I don't know, whatever, but uh, while the Saturn 4 is a brilliant machine, I love it. I mean, it works great. It does so much stuff. It's just so easy to use. I mean, if it's going to burn, if LCDs are going to burn out like this, because I've already looked up the video on how to change out, the Saturn LCD, and it is a beast. You literally have to take the whole machine apart, uh, you know, to replace it. And the other thing it does is it started giving me a warning when I'd start to, and I had to find out how to turn the warning off. But it was like the FEP in this machine has had 100 whatevers or 6,000 whatevers, which means it has moved up 6,000 times. And you figure a big print like these guys, which are standing up. I mean, that's a lot of freaking, that's a lot of lifts right there, just these things, right? So I didn't change the felt out because I'm lazy. I just bought a new one and I changed it out and it still kept saying that. So I had to actually go in and be like, hey, asshole, you know, it's got new. So basically, would I recommend it? Yeah, because it works amazing. It still works right now. It's just if I put anything in the area of the build plate where the LCD isn't working great, it's just not going to print. That's just what it is. There'll be a hole through it or something, and that's no fun. But otherwise, though, I mean, yeah, there's no problems with it. It's a great machine, and there's always a chance that I got a limit. You know what I mean? That my machine was just one that had a bad LCD screen on it, that burn out extra quick. I guess the other argument could be maybe I use it too much, but I don't think so. I don't think that would be a good argument to make. I've printed out like maybe 100 figures. So, yeah. So I'll get on my other computer after this video. And like I said, this is made for people who, all you guys who watch my channel, if you're playing Doom, you can message me on Discord. And if for some reason you decide you want to be on the same server as me and my two brothers, Hungar is one, so, but don't let that run you off. You can totally do that. However, don't expect me to group a lot because I am the consummate solo player. And it's not that I dislike you. And if you need help, I will help you. But I generally just prefer to run around by myself because I never know when I'm going to have to log out and run and do something. So, because I have different priorities, sometimes. Sometimes my wife she's very short and not as spry as she was 25 years ago when I met her. So sometimes she needs somebody to reach up to the top shelf and get down, whatever. I tell you what, she made, since this is stream of consciousness, guys, our next door neighbor's got a mango tree, gave us a couple mangoes, and she made an upside down cake, but instead of pineapple, mango. And it was absolutely delicious. Now, was it good for my blood sugar? Probably not. But it was absolutely, kind of like worth it, take the foot. No, not really, but yeah. So, but then again, I have, since the very first time I ever ate a mango, I've loved mango. So it is what it is. I have primered all the miniatures. I intended to primer today. Um, this guy's going to be pretty easy to paint, I think. This is, I forget his name, but he's the leader from Clockwork Orange. And there he is in the weird outfit with the cup and everything. So he should be pretty easy to paint. And I still need to figure out what color Buddy's tie is, though I think it's black. Anyway, I'll catch you later.